Hello subscribers, today's review will be on a new toy from Playmates Godzilla vs. Kong toy line, specifically the Mechagodzilla with HEAV. I found this alongside the Warbat at my 5th Walmart stop. Sadly, the East Coast states are usually the last places to get these new toys. As we all know, 3 Mechagodzilla toys were revealed in the beginning of 2020 at a toy fair in Hong Kong. This 6-inch one, as well as the giant one, were shown. The third one, there hasn't been much details on it, but I think it will be a Mega Electronic figure. So let's take a look at the packaging. See, it's got the same old awesome Godzilla vs. Kong packaging, and the only difference being on the bottom left it says Blockbuster Movie Godzilla vs. Kong, which is coming out very soon. Now on the back, on the top right, it's got a description of the film, as well as an artwork of Mechagodzilla, and right here, pause if you want to read it. And then there's all the other toys in this assortment. The only one I don't have is the Kong with Fighter Jet and the 2 Hong Kong battle figures. I'll get those in the future, but I'm in no rush. So let's waste no time and see what this Mechagodzilla figure has to offer. Here is the mechanized giant out of the packaging. This is a really neat looking toy. I am loving the new design. I think this will most likely be my favorite incarnation of Mechagodzilla. I'm also curious about the origins and how an advanced machine like this will function in the film, given that the MonsterVerse is set in the modern world. First, let's take a look at the accessory, which is the HEAV, or Hollow Earth Anti-Gravity Vehicle. So sculpt-wise, it's the exact same as the one that comes with the Skullcrawler. The only real difference between the two is that this one is green with a silver window, this one is gray with a black window. The detailing on this is very well done, especially for a kid's toy. It seems like Playmates is good with making robots, since most of the time for their Godzilla toys, they tend to use a glossy plastic. This, the giant Mechagodzilla, and the classic line Jet Jaguar all look great. So for the design details, it's definitely more complex than the Showa, Heisei Millennium, and Ready Player One Mechagodzillas, but still not as complex as the crazy looking anime Mechagodzilla. The head looks quite menacing, especially with that small red eye. And it does look like MonsterVerse Godzilla, and at the same time, it kind of looks like Godzilla Earth. Maybe because it's the way the head is sculpted, and the lower jaw is kind of spiked. Then you see the chest right here, looks great, and I like how there's red behind all of this metal. Then you've got the arms, which are very blocky, and they've got some squares and lines on them. So you got the claws right here, similar to the claws you see in a claw machine, and they are pointy. So this Mechagodzilla will definitely be capable of piercing through the skin of Godzilla or Kong. So you see right here on the torso, they look like ribs. Well, actually, the detailing here and on the tail look very skeleton-like. I heard that Apex built Mechagodzilla around the bones of another one of Godzilla's species. So taking a look at the legs right here, basically the same as the arms. You got the lines and the squares. Then you got the feet, which are strangely bird-like. They differ greatly from the elephant or sauropod-like feet of Godzilla. Normally, if huge creatures were to have feet like this, they wouldn't be able to stand up as the ankles would break under their own weight. But this is just a robot, so therefore it's lighter, and it will be able to have this type of feet. Then you got the dorsal fins right here, which are rectangular. There's 3 rows of them on the back, and then 1 row going down the tail. This makes sense, as if humanity were to build something like this, I doubt they will waste their time on trying to make the dorsal fins look like this. For something like Mechagodzilla, you're not going to get a whole lot when it comes to the paint job. See, it's just silver across the figure, and then red for the eyes and the dorsal fins. But this is just a robot, and I actually like how the red looks with the silver. This guy has 10 points of articulation, which is the second most of the 6-inch figures, only behind the Kongs, which have 11 points of articulation. The basic joints are at the jaw, the knees, and the feet. With the knees, you can make him stand upright, or you can make him crouch down. So let's take a look at the ball joints. Just like Kong and the Skullcrawler, you can move the limbs in multiple directions, which is awesome, even though they are kind of limited due to the pieces on the shoulder and the hips. So yeah, funny story with the legs right here. So with the ball joints, you can fully turn this leg around, and you can see all the trademarking stuff right there. So when I bought this, the trademarking stuff was actually right here, and I thought I got a defective Mechagodzilla, until I just realized that, oh, this guy has a ball joint. So I just turned the leg around, and it's completely fine. I don't have to go through that return process. The tail is on the ball joint too, so you can move it sideways and up and down. I'm also surprised at how soft the material for the tail is. I really like how bendy it is. I would also like to point out that the elbows and wrists look like they can move, but they cannot. I already saw a Mechagodzilla at a store with a broken arm. The giant Mechagodzilla, however, you can move its wrists and its claws. Still not the elbows, though. The main gimmick of this toy, along with all the other 6-inch figures, is the battle damage. So you pull this little tab right here, then you reveal Mechagodzilla's innards, which is a glossy dark gray. And the battle damage piece goes back in just like that. Now let's begin with our usual comparisons. So in front of us, we have Mechagodzilla next to the Godzilla with the radio tower. And they are basically the exact same size. Mechagodzilla will be taller depending on how you pose his legs. Since we have Godzilla right in front of us, let's bring in Kong with Battle Axe figure. So my predictions for the film is that Godzilla will defeat Kong, and then Mechagodzilla shows up and nearly kills Godzilla before Kong jumps in and saves Godzilla. And then I believe Kong will get the killing blow on Mechagodzilla to make it fair for both of them. Next up, here we have the Godzilla with Heat Ray and the Skullcrawler with Hollow Earth anti-gravity vehicle. Let's bring in two other MonsterVerse villains. Here we have the Skullcrawler from Kong Skull Island, and Ghidorah from Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is way too small compared to Mechagodzilla. Let's see how the Bandai Movie Monster Series one compares. Yeah, that works better, even though the proportions are off. There was a listing for a potential Godzilla vs. Kong Ghidorah figure, but I heard that one was fake, unfortunately. I felt like Playmates could make a good, in-scale King Ghidorah. Here is the Playmates Mechagodzilla, next to the Jakks-Pacific Mothra and Rodan from Godzilla King of the Monsters. Next, let's bring in the Bandai America Godzilla 2014, and the Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla 2019. You can see Mechagodzilla is substantially smaller than the two Godzillas. Here we have two 3-inch figures from Bandai, the Mini Battle G Mechagodzilla 3 or Kiryu. These are the only two other Mechagodzilla toys that I have. I used to have the Bandai America Showa and Heisei figures, as well as the Movie Monster Series Kiryu, which I stupidly donated a couple years back, and I'm still slapping myself to this day for doing that. In front of us, we have two Bandai 8-inch Godzillas which absolutely tower over Mechagodzilla, the Kiryu Goji and GMK Goji. The last comparison for this video will be the Playmates Giant Godzilla, which is twice the height of the 6-inch Mechagodzilla. Well, there you have it, guys. This is my review for the Playmates Godzilla vs. Kong Mechagodzilla with HEAV. I definitely recommend this one, as in my opinion, it's the best of the new Godzilla vs. Kong toys. Well, at least for the 6-inch assortment, I can see myself liking the giant Mechagodzilla more. So, I'm going to give this toy a 9.5 out of 10. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like and subscribe button, and let me know in the comments of what you think of this new Mechagodzilla figure.